Hi everyone, my name is Alex from EXP and as WS Real Estate team here from Toronto. In today's podcast, our guest is Mahendra Singh Rohan, a professional who is in the Primerica, working for 11 years in the insurance business, helping clients with their insurances and their investments. So today Mahendra will share with us some hot topics and some pain points for the clients he's facing in this 11 years industry and share his best practices. So Mahendra, good day, and how are you today?
Excellent, Alex, excellent. And hello, everyone. So Alex, I must first of all thank you for this opportunity to share the podcast with you.
Thank you very much, and I hope we'll do really very good and well, and hope that we'll give some very good and share a lot of knowledge and ideas to the people, to educate them and to help them in the future decision making. So Mahendra, what you have find so far that are some main concerns you're dealing with the people when you're connected with them and trying to help them?
Right. That's a great question, Alex. One of the main concerns that we come across with clients is most people do not have a game plan for financial freedom. They don't have a written blueprint when it comes to their money. And, you know, we go to college, we go to university, but how often is personal finance, being like a hot topic? These things are not taught in school. Financial literacy is something that we need to include in our curriculum today, right? So as a result of lack of financial literacy, we find a lot of clients are not on track for their financial goals. We look at the general landscape of things today. I'll share some stats with everyone if this would be helpful. They say, this is from Money Magazine, over 54% of retirees today, they retire completely dependent on a family member or the government for financing. Think about that.
In Canada, right? You're talking about Canada only.
In Canada, and the stats for the U.S. are almost the same. Right?
So you're saying that because lack of financial knowledge and education, when it was time to learn something, right? People don't have idea how to structure their life, their finances. At the age of retirement, they're out of the money and they're depending on the mercy of the government, right?
Absolutely. And we find that the two major risks that people would face in their lifetime is either dying too soon or living too long. I always ask clients, well, which one do you prefer? I hate to ask that question, but
I know.
It gives it wakes you up because you have to be aware of where you are. You have to have a game plan, a written game plan, mapping out the terrains where to go, right? Obviously, there has to be goals, right? What I find is a lot of times institutions out there do not sit with clients and ask them their goals and their dreams. What is it they would like to really accomplish? Because for a lot of people, if you mention the term $1 million, it seems like a fantasy, right, Alex?
Yeah, of course.
And the average that someone needs in the GTA is at least like the bare minimum is $1 million to retire just comfortably.
I see.
And I was reading another piece of stats from Statistics Canada, and they say about 35 or 36% of retirees also go back to work. So think about this. I retire at 65. I have a mini vacation from 65 to 67, but I'm back in the workforce. Why? Why is that? Right?
Definitely, I don't have money to meet my ends, right?
Absolutely. There is, instead of having more money than month, we have more month than money, right? This is something that we come across with a lot. And our goal when we sit with people, Alex, and you know this, is to help people navigate. Most people don't have a coach. So there are three main things we find. That's the cause of all of this. One is they don't have a game plan. Two, they don't have a coach to lead them the way.
I see.
Constant follow-up, right? And three, they don't have anybody providing financial literacy for themselves and their family. These are the three main things that we find that are missing. And hence the society we have today. Hey, we're doing great. We're doing greater than the average person in another, say, in a third world or whatever. But in comparison to what we could do out here with the resources at hand and, with the knowledge in the industry, come on, we haven't even tapped the surface.
I understand.
Clients, right? And,
so I would like to come back to your sentence you told previously 2 minutes ago. People are going to these big financial institutions, but they are not disclosing game plan to the clients. Why it's so? Any opinion?
Well, this will be my personal opinion, Alex. In my personal opinion, there is no company out there that could profitably serve the middle market the way we do. Right? And I carefully chose my words there. There's no company that could profitably serve the middle market with a complete financial game plan. Let me expand on that to answer your question. I come across folks where they say, "Hey, I have a plan already. I have a financial advisor already." I ask, "Let me see your plan." Okay, I look at their plan. Guess what? There is no game plan for debt elimination. There's only game plan to build investments. Okay, game plan for my life insurance. That's all good, but we find one of the major impediments to wealth building is having too much of the wrong kind of debt. Right?
I see, of course.
And from the knowledge we've gotten here, I realize there are two types of debt. Generally speaking, good debt and bad debt, right?
Of course.
A good debt may be, hey, I borrow $1 million because I need to buy a property, right? That could be a good debt because it's a debt that's associated with an appreciating asset, right?
Yes, of course.
But I'm buying a $100,000 car, financing it with $1,500 a month. May not be the best idea depending on your financial situation. So we find a lot of cases where folks are not prepared because they want to build wealth, but their debt is it's like David and Goliath. The debt is like Goliath.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
So we are one of the few companies that would sit with people and show them a debt elimination strategy and building wealth along the way.
So that means that Primerica is not only company for life insurance, because most of people are thinking, Primerica is company for the life insurance, but on the contrary, according to your sayings, you have full package dealing with the different, very, very vast products under one roof to help people and to service them in the best possible way, to have debt elimination, to have life insurance, property insurance, car insurance, and other insurances, and of course to help them to invest their money in the best possible way with the appropriate returns. Right?
Absolutely, Alex. Absolutely. It's like, think about it this way, guys. If you're tuning in, think of our company as a home delivery company. We're like the Amazon of financial services.
I see.
In fact, there's a company called Morningstar, right?
Yeah.
Morningstar is huge in the investment industry, and Morningstar actually, this is what they said. They said that our company, Primerica, will do to the financial services industry what Amazon did to retail. We'll be as disruptive as Amazon.
I see.
But in the financial industry. So one thing is, I'm very proud of Alex, and you and I are doing this together. We're helping people, right?
Yeah.
And we're teaching people, showing them, money 101, the basics of money. And people are able to make more informed decisions. They're able to buy the right type of life insurance. They're able to choose the proper rates of return on investments. They're able to figure out how to eliminate their debts and also help their children along the way for college education. That is something we're going to touch on in another podcast because it's a huge topic.
Absolutely.
So that's on the general scope of things. If you have more, say, specific questions on the life insurance aspect, I think we can go into that next.
Yes, of course. Yes. Let's go for that. Yeah.
Awesome.
So, Mahendra, can you just give some typical example when you meet the client? And I assume you're doing some evaluation of that client, profiling the client, and what are the most common concerns or questions you have with the clients when you see their file, and where is the room for the improvement apart of the fact that you notice that people are not financially educated, not only in Canada, all over the world. In your school back home, my school back home, we never heard anything about financial literacy, right?
Right.
So
right,
when you meet a typical client, what are the questions and what are the concerns you're addressing to the client, and of course vice versa? And what is the way that you can really help them and to choose to work with your company and the products you're offering to them? Just in a nutshell.
Absolutely. Well, in a nutshell, so far, great question, Alex, because this is a hot area in my business, right?
Yeah.
The number one thing I find, so pitfall number one is most people do not have adequate amount of coverage. So I'll give a practical example. I sat with a client. This is about a few weeks ago. She has a $500,000 coverage on her property. Right, this is for life insurance coverage. But here's the thing: her mortgage is $750. So she's under. So your mortgage is $750. Your life insurance is $500,000. So there's a shortfall of $250,000. God forbid, let's say John. God forbid John. Dies prematurely, he leaves his family with a deficit of $250,000.
Yes.
Right? So the number one thing is not having adequate amount of coverage. Now, if a proper needs analysis is done, if a proper, very comprehensive, very concise financial game plan is prepared, that problem would not have happened, because we would have that agent, actually, that's not us, that agent would have been able to determine the right amount of coverage to begin with.
I see.
Right? And in my field, just like a doctor-patient relationship, I see that as a big malpractice in our industry today. Imagine if I have a $2 million home, Alex. Let's say the cost of rebuilding my home is $1.8 million, right?
Yeah,
and my insurance is only $1 million. I'm short of $800,000. If my house goes to the ground, I'm short of $800,000 of coverage. Am I right?
Yes, of course. Of course.
It's no different with life insurance, except that we can never come back to fix that one. We're gone. We're gone. Right?
So can you explain me what is the reason of this discrepancy between life insurance or life coverage and the property or mortgage debt? People are aware of that, people are not aware of that, or people don't care about that, or they don't have idea what the consequences are, because I assume this is not individual case you're facing with that. These cases many times not maybe every day, but in the month, and in these 11 years of your production, definitely oftentimes, right?
Absolutely. It goes back to what we started talking about, Alex, which is the financial game plan, right? Because a lot of agents. Here's how I would put that. The best way to answer your question is we are not a product-based company. We provide a plan. We provide a program for financial freedom, right? A lot of other companies out there, what they do is they just walk in the door to sell a product. They just sell a policy, and that's it. They have no idea what the client's mortgage is. They have no idea what the other debts are, whether they have OSAP, line of credit, car loans, right, etc. They have no idea in that department what's happening. And that brings me to the other pain point, where a lot of families today, as you can see, the impacts of COVID on jobs in the last couple of years. A lot of families today have either been right-sized, downsized, whatever you call it. People are not able to keep up. So what they do is they only buy a small amount of life insurance that they can afford.
I see.
So financial advisors, what we have to do, we have to sit with people and look at their entire budget. We have to look at every area where they're spending their money and see where we can free up their dollars to help them to buy more coverage to protect that mortgage, protect their little kids, protect their spouse. God forbid they die prematurely, right?
Yeah, of course.
So it brings me to another point, Alex, where I see this all the time. People only buy what they can afford. And I'll give you an example.
That's pretty normal, right?
pretty normal, right? I sat with a young lady. I'll share this example. I sat with a young lady, 27 years of age. She had $500,000 coverage, paying $300 a month.
Oh, how it comes? It's huge amount.
Huge amount. So a couple of reasons. One, that's all she knew because she was in training with the company. So she didn't have any other knowledge. Number two, that was her budget, right? Agent asked, what's your budget? I could do no more than $300. So they sold her a plan where she can invest and she can invest in the policy. So it sounded like a really good plan, right? So all in all, she paid $300 a month for about 2 years until we met. And I was able to give her double the amount of coverage for only $96, and we were able to invest the difference.
It sounds amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
So knowledge, the budget can only accommodate X amount. It's all what the agent tells you. That's what you believe. Don't believe that, guys. Research, right? You research, you get the proper knowledge as to what type of policy is the best for you, right? And the other thing is the wrong type of coverage. So many people I meet, they have the wrong type of life insurance. Meaning,
I see.
There's certain insurance, Alex, you could buy for $2 per thousand, and there's certain insurance you could buy for $8 a thousand. But the $8 per thousand coverage, that will pay that agent much more than the $2 per thousand coverage. So they sell the one that's more expensive, so they get paid a higher commission. I hate to touch on that this morning, but it's a reality. People should know about that. You know, it's happening all the time. Please, if you're listening, guys, please sit with a very well-rounded financial advisor who could give you a comprehensive plan, not just on life insurance, but get you to take care of the entire picture.
I understand. And definitely one of our podcasts will be difference between different types of the insurances, because people should be aware what are the differences and what is the best product for them. But at a final point, definitely they have to meet with a person like you and to actually have assessment of their case, and then to make fine-tuning of their necessities in order to utilize their funds, money, investments, and insurances, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And great point, Alex. And I would like to expand on one little thing that you just mentioned, the assessment.
Yes.
We provide a complimentary financial needs assessment for our clients. So if anyone listening in here would like to have a complimentary, and I do mean it, it's complimentary, there's no cost attached to it, all right? I always say to people, the only cost of your financial game plan is 10 referrals.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be nice for whatever good we did for you, you could actually share that with 10 of your closest friends and families? That's the way I work, right? So we can offer a completely, I wouldn't use the word free, I would say complimentary financial needs analysis.
Great.
For our clients.
Great.
Right?
So definitely whoever would like to get in touch with you, we'll have in our description of this podcast your contact and your email. And please feel free to get in touch with Mahendra if you have any questions. No commitment, no obligation, but definitely he can give you some really straightforward solutions. And of course, it's up to you. Would you like to proceed or not? Right, Mahendra?
Thank you, Alex. Thank you for that, Alex. I appreciate that.
So, do you have anything to, because today is our initial podcast, we have wide and broad topics, but probably next of our podcast we are going in details for the topic. But for today, because I don't want people to shovel so many information, we have some closing thoughts on our podcast today, and final message to our viewers of the podcast.
Yes. Thank you. So Alex, one of what I would like to close with is this, right? I believe everyone deserves a financial education. right? I'll share my background for a quick second. 11 years ago, I was practicing accounting. I'm a certified chartered accountant by trade. And I left that career about 9 years ago, right? Being a financial professional in that area as an accountant, I knew very little about personal financial planning. I thought I knew a lot, but I didn't. So please keep an open mind, learn as much as you can, right? We can sit with you, provide a complete game plan to help you achieve your goals and dreams for your family when it comes to education, funding, income protection, saving for retirement, debt solutions, and building a complete bulletproof financial house, right? That's something we talk about, an actual financial house, right? And we teach our clients, this may sound a bit funny, that when you build a home, you don't start from, say, the roof. You start from the foundation. And
Absolutely.
The foundation of every financial house is life insurance and disability insurance. That's where everything starts. Because if I have an accident and I'm disabled, I want to make sure I can still pay my mortgage. I want to make sure I could still buy groceries, right?
Absolutely.
If I'm physically incapacitated, I want to make sure those things can still happen. I don't have to sell my home. But God forbid, the worst of the worst happens where I'm not here. Guess what? I want to make sure that I leave my family with a great nest egg so they can continue on with the same or even better lifestyle, right? Quality of life is so important. So I would like to close with that, guys. Thank you so much for listening in. Our next podcast, we will go into a little deeper dive with the different types of policies and which ones may or may not be appropriate for your budget, for your finances. All right?
Mahendra, thank you very much for your time discussing these all topics. I think we tackled a couple of pain points that clients are facing on a daily basis. Please feel free to get in touch with Mahendra. We'll have more details in this podcast on the YouTube. And of course, if you're looking for some real estate needs combined with all these solutions that Mahendra can provide to you, we'll be looking forward to seeing you and hearing from you very soon. Thank you, Mahendra, for your time, and be in touch very soon. Have a pleasant day.
Thank you very much, Alex. Thanks again, everyone.
See you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.